Calaroga Shark Media.
Oh, man. Thank you, Katt Williams. Get out your popcorn, everybody. Hi, I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. Katt Williams must have known that yesterday was a slow news day, and boy, did he hook it up from the Hollywood Reporter. And I've got audio for you. Wait till you hear the audio. Just wait. You're not going to believe any of this. Katt Williams went after a lot of people, but the Hollywood Reporter focused on Katt going after Cedric the Entertainer. That's the least of it, Hollywood Reporter, for allegedly stealing one of his jokes. Katt Williams was on the Club Shay Shay podcast. That's Shannon Sharp's podcast. You know what? I'll read the article in a minute. Let's just tee this up. I can't wait. All right, now I don't want to hang myself, so I'm just going to let Katt Williams speak for himself. In the first clip, Katt Williams discusses Kevin Hart's days in the clubs.
In 15 years in Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show, there being a line for him ever getting a standing ovation at any comedy club. He already had his deals when he got here. Have we heard of a comedian that came to L.A. and in his first year in L.A. he had his own sitcom on network television and had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading? No, we've never heard of that before that person or since that person. What do you think a plant is? Maybe people don't understand the definitions of these words. He just did his documentary with Chris Rock where he shows you that his whole upbringing in comedy was on the East Coast.
Yeah, it was.
So how simultaneously was he here in Los Angeles doing the same thing? It didn't happen. It didn't happen. And I hate to seem like a petty individual for picking apart lies, but Jussie Smollett gonna keep lying until you say we don't believe you.
Okay, now here's Katt Williams discussing some sort of program. I've listened to several clips and I'm gathering here that Katt believes there's some sort of, I don't know, you enter in something and the Hollywood Illuminati hook you up and you make millions of dollars or something. Katt explains.
If you sign up for their program, you get a light-skinned, weird-faced wife that never do an interview.
Oh, man, come on.
Listen, in 20 years, won't do an interview. Nobody's ever talked to her, and that she's never been interviewed anywhere. And now, understand, I'm not talking about one person. What I just told you applies to 7 people. How they all end up with that. That's part of what you get.
Katt also discussed celebrities selling their souls. Let's listen.
That's why, you know what the number one job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is?
What?
Is to act like it didn't happen. They all do the same job. Why do you think Gary Owen can't cross over and he already white and been in comedy for 25 years? If what I say ain't the case. It's a cabal. It's a consortium. They rock with who they rock with and they don't with who they don't. But I'm not scared of being the competition any more than you were when you lined up across from a superior team. Yeah, on paper, they're a better team.
Right.
They have all the assets and resources and we don't. But let us get on the line, boy, and see if that factors in. I guarantee you it won't.
Wow.
Katt talked about Chris Tucker. Now, during this clip, he's mugging for the camera and has a big smile on his face as he tells the story.
Chris Tucker didn't want to be the poster child for smoking weed. He don't smoke weed like that.
Right.
He in the church. He Michael Jackson's best friend. Christmas. Michael Jackson called him Christmas. You ever met a man that gave you a little nickname like that?
No.
Me neither.
And one more, here's Katt Williams discussing Ludcaris.
There was a crossroads where we were both invited to an Illuminati thing, and it had to be one or the other of us, and decisions had to be made. So it was both of us, we were equal. One of us had to cut off all their hair and couldn't do the sideburn thing no more with the points. And the next person, they said, was going to get $200 million because they were going to pay him $10 million a movie to do 20 movies. And that's how the conversation happened. One of those persons turned out to be Ludacris, and the other person turned out to be Katt Williams. Now, one person ended up with a light-skinned, ugly-faced wife that's never done it. Remember I told you that if I say that, it applied to 7 people?
Yes.
It's part of what they give you.
All right, back to Hollywood Reporter, who picked on, after all that, they went with the Katt Williams has gone after Cedric the Entertainer for allegedly stealing one of his jokes. I think that's the least of it, Hollywood Reporter. Katt said he thought I was just a no-name comedian and that he could take this joke and nobody would know. The issue was that I'd already done this particular joke on BET's Comic View twice. I'd done so well on Comic View that they made it part of the commercial. This is not just a random joke. This is my very best joke, and it's my last joke, and it's my closing joke. 1998, I'm doing this joke. It's on Comic View. Cedric comes to the Comedy Store. He watches me in the audience. He comes backstage. He tells me what a great job I did and how much he loves the joke. 2 years later, he's doing that as his last joke on the original Kings of Comedy, and he's doing it verbatim. He just changed my car into a spaceship. Cedric was on that same podcast in November 2022, and at that time said, I've seen this guy, Katt Williams, 30 times. Like, dog, if you literally were that upset about it, like, why didn't you say nothing? Like, that don't even make sense. This is some internet stuff. That's all I could say. So, when I responded to him, he didn't respond back to me, and I left it at that. Katt had responded to that, saying, why are you downplaying me like that? Why would I give you a pass if you were just going to lie? He went on to say that Cedric specials are so bad they're not available on Netflix. It has been pointed out that at least one of Cedric's specials at that time was on Netflix. In 2021, Cedric denied the accusations on Instagram, saying, look, I have no idea what this brother's talking about. That joke is over 30 years old, close to 30-something years old. I did Kings of Comedy in 1999. Probably had been doing that joke 6-7 years before that. I don't even know if Katt was doing comedy then. So, again, he's a talented brother. I have no idea what he's talking about. I've never seen Katt do a space shuttle joke. That may be something he believes is true. I've written a lot of jokes, and I've had a lot of comedians steal my jokes as well, so I understand if he feels slighted by that. But that's my joke. That's my joke, dog. Katt Williams has claimed that Cedric the Entertainer, Steve Harvey, and Ricky Smiley work in a group to shut Katt and others out of the industry, saying they aren't three random guys, they're co-entwined and they share secrets. Elsewhere in the episode, Katt takes shots at Steve Harvey, saying, this is like Steve Harvey telling people he used to be homeless. That's my story. That's not his story. Steve Harvey was never homeless. 25 years ago, he was making $3,000 a show in cash and doing 5 shows a week. They just tell the stories. Who cares that they wrote a placard for you to do Family Feud on? Like you're successful because we're surprised you could talk for a living, and it's entertaining that you say some funny country things, but not a writer. And I shared a lengthy, 16-minute clip in the Facebook group, which is Daily Comedy News Podcast Group. The official description: the legendary Katt Williams, hailed by many as the greatest comedian alive, joined Shannon Sharpe at Club Shay Shay for an explosively candid conversation. Renowned as one of America's most exceptional entertainers, Katt fearlessly takes shots at fellow comedians like Ricky Smiley, Cedric the Entertainer, Steve Harvey, and Kevin Hart. He opens up about his turbulent life, revealing his homelessness experience after moving out at 13, and shares the financial challenges he faced in kickstarting his comedy career. Gianmarco Ceresi tweeted, I feel like more careers are going to be impacted by Katt Williams' list than Jeffrey Epstein's. All right, more controversy. New topic. Pat McAfee apologizes over Aaron Rodgers' Epstein claim about Jimmy Kimmel. McAfee said some things obviously people got very ticked off about, especially when they're that serious allegations. So we apologize for being part of it. I can't wait to hear what Aaron has to say about it. Sounds like somebody at ESPN got in bad here, if you ask me. What do I know? McAfee said after the Rose Bowl game, he and his team were rolling on 2 hours of sleep going into Tuesday's show, and added that the freewheeling nature of the show is his hallmark. Quoting McAfee, there could be some things that were certainly probably, we're going to have to hear from Aaron on that, meant to be a S-word talk joke that can then become something that is obviously a very serious allegation, and that leads to a massive overnight story, one in which I put the baby down to sleep. I haven't seen her in a while, and I pick up my phone, and oh boy. We obviously don't like to be associated with anything negative ever. We'd like our show to be an uplifting one, a happy one, a fun one. But it's because we talk crap and try to make light of everything. Some things obviously people get very ticked off about, especially when they're serious allegations. So we apologize for being part of it. I can't wait to hear what Aaron says about it. Hopefully those two will just be able to settle this, not work-wise, but be able to chit-chat and move along. I can understand why Jimmy got incredibly upset. I definitely completely understand that, especially with his position. But also I think Aaron is like, hey, this guy has said some stuff about me in his monologue and he's just trying to crap talk. I don't think he meant anything else, but he's going to have to clarify for that. Fun. New topic. Netflix released a trailer for Pete Davidson's special, which is out next week. Interestingly to me, there are no joke clips in the trailer, which is uncommon. Netflix trailers almost always have jokes in them, although the recent Dave Chappelle one also didn't have any jokes, so we'll see. A different trailer is for Dusty Slay's upcoming special on the 16th. I think Dusty's going to have a huge year. This guy's great, and hopefully this will propel him. I'll play clips from that in a second. The Spokesman Review had a nice profile of Dusty. I like this description. The clever comic with a soothing baritone looks the part with his trucker hat and dated glasses that could have been borrowed from fellow comic Judah Friedlander. I never noticed that before. Now I won't be able to unsee it. Dusty said, Jeff Foxworthy's the best. I can't tell you how much I admire him. I've always been a big fan. We couldn't stop telling Foxworthy's redneck jokes in our trailer. I believe that Jeff Foxworthy's first 2 albums, You Might Be a Redneck If, and Game's Rednecks Play, are 2 of the best comedy albums of all time. Jeff Foxworthy was a big inspiration. So was Bill Engvall, who was part of Foxworthy's blue-collar comedy group. Chris Rock, who was always on HBO back then, that during the 90s, was an inspiration, and so was Ellen DeGeneres. Dusty's at the Spokane Comedy Club tonight and tomorrow. At one point, he had developed a live-action sitcom for ABC inspired by his family. That was not picked up. He also had a script for an animated series for Hulu. That was never produced. But Dusty says, the great thing about stand-up is that I don't have to depend on anybody else. There's no one preventing me from delivering my material. Maybe one day I'll have a TV show, but I'm not going to wait around for that since I'll be out there doing stand-up. Dusty Slay, Working Man on Netflix, January 16th. Let's listen.
I've had a lot of jobs. I was the sauce guy working my way up to dishwasher. And I came in one day and the dishwasher had not shown up, So I was going to be making sauce and washing dishes. So I was like, well, let me go ahead and go on break. And then I never came back. Because I don't do 2 jobs, you know what I mean? You're going to be shorthanded, you're going to be real shorthanded because I'm jumping off this sinking ship.
Great stuff. I like him a lot. I hope you do too. All right, here's a terrible idea. A sequel to the movie Twins. Arnold Schwarzenegger has shared a photo on Instagram posing with Danny DeVito, who's 79. Arnold is 76. My brother, it was fantastic to see Danny on Broadway, and I Need That. He and Lucy and everybody involved kept the audience entertained, laughing and loving every minute. One of the best plays I've ever seen. A true spectacle with Hart. I can't wait to work together again. The movie is supposedly called Triplets. It's been delayed several times. At one point, Eddie Murphy would have played the third brother. Eddie appears to no longer be part of the project. Tracy Morgan reportedly set to take on the new part. That is an awful idea, fellas. All right, some more details about that Tom Segura, Bert Kreischer 5K I talked about yesterday. It is the 5K by May challenge. The goal is to run it in under 26 minutes. Any minute that Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer go above the 26-minute 5K runtime challenge, they will each donate $1,000 to a charity of their choice. Bert's planning on throwing a big party after the 5K. All right, so Bert is 51. Segura's only 44. Wow, I would have guessed he was a little older. Also, Bert, I didn't think Bert was that old. So at some point, you're going to age out of that shirt off thing, right? Like, you're not going to be 70 years old on stage doing the shirt off thing, are you? And again, I don't mean to hate. I like both of their comedy a lot. All right, under 26 minutes. I don't know what kind of shape Tom Segura is in or not, but at 44, if he puts his mind to it, he should be able to do that. At 51, Bert Kreischer, under 26 minutes, as in 25:59. I know at 54, I would not be able to get there, but I'm slow, and I could lose some weight. But even 10 years ago, I couldn't get it down to 27. I do have a friend who is 7 years younger than me and my running buddy, and he'd be able to do it. But I'm going to bet Segura no and Bert no. We'll see if I'm wrong. So far, Michelle Wolf, Tim Dillon, Stavros Halkias, and Mark Normand are in. Tentative yeses are from Shane Gillis and Louis C.K., so that should be a lot of fun. And that is your comedy news for today. Thank you, Katt Williams. If you enjoy the program and you'd like to support it, go to buymeacoffee.com/dailycomedynews. Throw a couple bucks in the tip jar. I'll go to the National Donuts chain. I'll get a large iced coffee, etc. And if you're hip to podcasting 2.0 and value for value, you can listen to this program on the Fountain app and throw some sats my way. See you tomorrow.